Realizing the truth on seeing the peach blossoms, realizing the truth on hearing the sound of a bamboo, and realizing the truth on seeing a bright star are all examples of the sutras producing good counselors. There are skin bags and fists who get eyes, then get the sutras. And there are wooden dippers and lacquered tubs who get the sutras, then get eyes. What has been called the sutras is the whole universe in the 10 directions itself. There is no time or place that is not the sutras. They are the characters of consummate philosophy, and they are the characters of secular philosophy. They use the characters of the heavens above, and they use the characters of the human world. They use the characters of the world of animals, and they use the characters of the world of asuras. They use the characters of the 100 weeds, and they use the characters of 10,000 trees. Therefore, the long, the short, the square, the round, the blue, the yellow, the red, and the white, which are arranged in dense profusion throughout the universe in 10 directions, are all the characters of the sutras, and they are the concrete surface of the sutras. We see them as the tools of the great truth, as the Buddhist sutras. This sutra is able to spread out over the whole of time and to spread throughout entire nations. It opens the gate of teaching people and does not forsake any human household over the whole earth. It opens the gate of teaching things and saves material beings throughout the earth. In teaching Buddhas and teaching Bodhisattvas, it becomes the whole earth and the whole universe. It opens the gate of expedient methods. It opens the gate of abiding in place and not forsaking one person or a half of one. It reveals true, real form. To get this sutra, at this very moment, with the thinking, sensing, mindfulness and realization, and in the state without thinking, sensing, mindfulness and realization of Buddhas or of Bodhisattvas, though it is beyond the intentional doing of the individual, is the great aim of each person. The time of decisively getting this sutra is beyond past and present, because past and present are moments of getting the sutra. What is manifested before our eyes as the whole universe in 10 directions is just the getting of this sutra. When we read, recite, and become versed in this sutra, the Buddha wisdom, natural wisdom, and untutored wisdom are realized prior to the mind and are realized prior to the body. At this time, we do not have the doubt that wisdom may be a new and special state. When this sutra is being received, retained, read and recited by us, the sutra is enfolding us. The situation before a line and around a word, and in scanning down and dwelling on a sentence, is instantly the scattering of blossoms and the making of garlands. We call this sutra the Dharma itself, and in it there are 84,000 accumulations of Dharma preaching. In this sutra there are characters which are Buddhas who have realized the balance and right state of truth. There are characters which are Buddhas who are presently living in the world. And there are characters which are Buddhas who have entered parinirvana. The arriving of reality and the living of reality are each a character in the sutra and are a line of Dharma written on the Dharma. Picking up a flower and winking an eye and a face breaking into a smile are just the eternal sutra, authentically transmitted from the 7 Buddhas. Standing waist deep in snow and cutting off an arm, doing prostrations and getting the marrow are just the eternal sutra transmitted from master to disciple. The subsequent transmission of the Dharma and giving of the robe are just the arrival of the moment in which all volumes of the universal scripture are entrusted. 3 strikes of the mortar and 3 sifts of the rice in the winnowing basket make the sutra hold out a hand to the sutra. And the sutra thus rightly succeeds the sutra. Furthermore, this is something common like this, is 1,000 sutras for teaching Buddhas, and is 10,000 sutras for teaching Bodhisattvas. To explain a thing does not hit the target nicely preaches the 80,000 compilations and the 12 parts of the sutras. Furthermore, a fist and a heel, a staff and a whisk are eternal sutras and new sutras. Sutras of existence and sutras of emptiness, being part of the assembly and pursuing the truth, making the effort of sitting in sazen, are originally the Buddhist sutras that are right at the beginning and the Buddhist sutras that are right at the end. They are sutras written on leaves of the Bodhi tree and sutras written on the faces of space. In sum, a Buddhist patriarch's 1 instance of movement and 2 instances of stillness, and his or her holding on and letting go are naturally the closing and opening of the Buddhist sutras. Because we learn in practice that there being no ultimate extreme is the ultimate standard, we receive sutras and expel sutras through the nostrils. And we receive sutras and expel sutras through the tips of the toes. As sutras were received and sutras were expelled before the birth of our parents, and as sutras were received and sutras were expelled before the time of the King of Majestic Voice. We receive sutras and preach sutras through mountains, rivers, and the earth. And we receive sutras and preach sutras through the sun, moon, and stars. Sometimes we retain sutras and transmit sutras with the self that precedes the kappa of emptiness. And sometimes we retain sutras and transmit sutras with the body-mind that precedes face and eyes. We cause sutras like these to appear by breaking atoms, and we cause them to appear by breaking the Dharma world.